second half of class number 7. As promised, we're going to build a very simple interactive game, somewhat similar that we did to last week. The difference is this time we're going to do it all from scratch using fundamental elements in XD. I want to make sure everybody here is able to do this independently, and then we're going to dress it up with graphics, and we're going to take it to the finishing stage as well. Okay, so it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun exercise. It shouldn't take us longer than half an hour. Okay, I predict that's the duration of this. Again, the more time you invest, the more details you can add. It's all up to you. Okay, and if you know how to do this already, I can sense by just your presence and your, the way you're kind of keeping up with me. I can slow my pace or accelerate it as I go along. All right, so I'm going to also share my screen, and we're going to get started. Okay, let's go to, so first, let's start with XD. Okay. And the first thing you're going to decide is what size are you going to make this game for? All right. Abhinav was chatting with me about making a game for PC with the gamepad. You can do that too, but I think it's very limiting to do XD. Like, let's face it, XD is not a game design program. The fact that we're making a game, it's an interactive experience for the younger audience or even adults, right? I don't know if you guys have been to the Kennedy Space Center, right? I mean, everyone plays games, adults, kids, children, teenagers, right? So it's for all ages. That's why I made it an all ages experience. So we're going to therefore make it, you can do a custom size, or you can go 1920 1080p, which is, it's funny how they made it an Instagram story. Over here, you have iPad 768 by 1024. Let's go with that one, iPad. Now it's reversed this way, so we're going to make it landscape. I like to keep it more like landscape instead of portrait. So all you have to do is just change these numbers around here. Or you can just do a custom size and type in 1024 by 768. So you can always control the width and height from over here on the right size. Okay. So we're creating an iPad size. We're also going to save this. Okay. We're going to do a save as, and we're going to call this interactive game exercise. Okay. And we're going to put a title. Okay. For now, I'm going to match this criteria from my handout here. This way we're following some kind of a theme. As I mentioned earlier, you can make your own theme as you please. Okay. So space exploration is the theme. I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. But here's the thing, the Curious Cosmos. I'm going to go to the type tool, click once, hit the paste button, go to the selection tool, and make this nice and big, as this will be my title. You can also change your font, change your colors, and change your styles over here as well. I'm also going to teach you how to create custom styles. Very similar to what you're used to I'm going to reference programs like InDesign, because I don't know if, I'm sure by now you use character styles and paragraph styles. You can do that here too. This way it keeps it consistent, okay? So I'm going to teach you how to do the styles in here so you can easily apply them back and forth. I'm going to create another text box here. The other travel space. Explorer. Okay, so I wrote, let's go on an adventure together and travel through space to explore the universe. Okay. And if I want to make this a little bigger, I'm just gonna do this and hit the greater than, less than button, Command Shift, less than, greater than button, 34 points. I'm also gonna center this. So basically it looks like we're creating a nice heading and a subheading design. Okay. We should have a black theme. Okay. We're gonna go click on the background. That's gonna be like the universe and space, and black will serve us better with that theme. I'm gonna go ahead and change the fill color to black. If you notice, because I'm using like a light gray, that's gonna change the colors of this as well. So in that case, I'm gonna change this to like a white background, and this will be like a light gray background, something like that. Okay. I don't know if you can see the difference, but the title is brighter. For this one, I drew a box, like a text box. Oh, so I clicked on it and I just changed the color that way from the bottom. So click on so make sure you're in the arrow tool. You select the text box and you do that. Now, here's the difference between a text box. Look, you can do this with the text box, right? Whereas if you do a text field, it does that. So it's a lot more advantageous to do either or. So text box, text field, nice and centered. Oh, without holding shift. With the background, I clicked on the top left corner where the iPad is, and I changed the stage fill, which is the artboard fill. See, it's very important where you click. This is when I get you familiar with how to use this application. It's very specific. So if I click here or here or here, this changes based on my selection. So do this right now, and I'll teach you the benefits of doing this properly. Because let's say I'm doing like a huge game. I want the titles always to be the same size, same color, same font. So see this here? Look at my mouse cursor, okay? I'm gonna click on the bottom left corner here in the corner. Look at this colors, character styles, components, videos. Yes, you can put videos too. Not that we're gonna do that, but you could do, I think 15 megabytes is the limit of videos. I mean, we can literally get videos from YouTube, download them, and do like a video interactive game gallery. Pretty cool, right? You've seen those all around. Anyways, watch this. You see this title here? I'm gonna go to my character style, click on the plus button. Look what happens. I just made a Helvetica new 83 points. It knows exactly how big this is. I'm gonna click on the subheading, the little blurb that I wrote, which is let's go on an adventure together, right? So that one, if I do the same thing, hit the plus button, I made another character style. That's Helvetica 34 points. What does that mean is this. If I click on another text box, I draw another text box and I type stuff, right? Let's say this is, I don't know, red and it's small, right? See that? If I click on these character styles, look what happens. I can change it to that one or this one. To predefine the character style, you click on what you made, you press the little plus button to add the character styles. You got to do it this way, okay? Here's another thing, colors. This white off-white color, if I go to my color and click on plus, I just added FFFF as a color, a saved color library component, like a color swatch. See this gray color here? I'm also going to add that. So I'm saving my colors and my fonts for this way to keep consistency with my game design or app. That's what document assets do best. This is why I wanted to do this, to teach you the other stuff I didn't get a chance to show you, the fundamentals, the basics of XD. Because this stuff, can help you a lot with what you're used to already. Forget about the colors and the graphics and the Photoshop files. I know you know how to do that. That's something you can add later, but this is also important. Predefining your styles, colors, things like that. Okay, components. This is more interactive. I can show you that later for like a little switch or a little rollover button. We'll make a component as well. And videos, I don't know if I have a short video, I can bring one in there, but it's not really that necessary, okay? But the most important thing is the colors, the character styles. There's no paragraph styles, only character styles. Because you can have a paragraph and it'd be a character style too. See, paragraph styles are more elaborate, from InDesign. You can specify more like paragraph breaks, line spacing, kerning, leading, tracking, all these characteristics that go in typography, which InDesign is really good for. And I'm sure you've done that with Roberto and the other teachers there. But for this one, it's not that expanded, but it still has some cool features you can utilize, right? All right. So now let's make some interactive buttons here. So we'll create maybe a few buttons, maybe 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we're going to use the objects tool for that one. Here's a rectangle. Later on, we can substitute this with an image if we need to. Okay, so this can be like a, same one. Right? Now watch this. Option drag. Option drag. Actually, you can even do this. Let me go over some of the important stuff. I can do this if I want and do this. Okay. I can do 3. Or you can click on this rectangle, go over here, repeat grid. Remember this button? And then you can actually expand this way, right? And then you can control how wide you want this to be. And when you're done, you can ungroup the grid and you still have the boxes separated, right? Whatever is easier for you. You can also copy and paste it and make it even duplicate of having it 3 times. And these thumbnails can go to those 3 sections of the game that we're going to make. One could be for like different planets. One could be for the different galaxies and stars. And one can be for like a spacecraft. And I can have a little hidden tip button for, fun facts or something like that, right? I'm going to move this up a little bit here, move this up a little bit here, and move these up as well. I want you to do this with me, okay? So I'm going to be coming around and looking at your screens and making sure you're following me, okay? And if I want to, maybe if you want to start from this point onward, I can save this and load it up on Blackboard if you want later. But for now, I want you to get involved, okay? You're not going to learn by watching me all the time. The only way you're going to learn is by doing it yourself, okay? You learn a lot more that way than you watching me or, watching videos and stuff. So I started with an iPad size. I changed the orientation, 1024, 768. I created 2 character styles, one for the title, one for the subheading, and I made 3 boxes for navigation, which I will in turn put images in their placements to act as categories or links for my video or interactive Cosmos game. So for that, I'm going to grab some images online right now. So first thing I'm going to type is planets. Look at this beautiful images we can use online. Well, this looks kind of nice, right? Right click, save image as. Planetary lineup 3x4. I'll make a folder just to keep things nice and organized. I'm going to call it Space Journey. Okay. I'm going to look for another image that we can use, and that'll be maybe galaxies or stars. Galaxies. Look at that. Very nice. We don't want to make it too complicated, but there are different galaxies that we can incorporate in our interaction here. So maybe this would be a good image for that. Maybe even this is a nice image. Okay. We can flip this the other way. I mean, you're going to be designing this too, so you can pick whatever theme you like. Okay. Maybe this is not a good one here. I like this image here, actually. I'm going to right click, save this image, and that'll be also there. And last but not least, I'm going to put spacecraft because there's various spacecraft that we use as humans to travel, space through space. We have like, international space stations. Remember the shuttle program that NASA did back in the day? We have different types of shuttles and rockets, rocket science. Elon Musk recently has the SpaceX, okay? These different types of rockets or launch pads to go through space. So I'm going to type spacecraft. Okay. You can see here different types of spacecraft that it's used for taking off. Got a nice one here. There are some that are like spacecraft with different unmanned spacecraft or manned spacecraft. Like you can put astronauts or no astronauts in it as well. And this is a very popular space shuttle launch, which maybe I'll use this image here. So I got 3 images for this thing. And there's a fun fact button I can use. I can save this as well onto my desktop. So you can gather your resources. You can do this simultaneously. So you can build your wireframe design. You can have a sketch on a piece of paper. And then when you're ready, you can bring in your material over to here, right? This will become the actual interaction that I'm going to create. Maybe the background will be a bunch of stars or something. We can come up with different things. So I'm going to come around and making sure everyone's okay. So let me know. So for that one, I did not draw this one. This one I did, just a little bit shorter. So once you double click, triple click it. I see. And it goes back to the pectoral. Click once. And then if there's something, still don't do that, right? It's like Illustrator, right? Remember, you draw a text box or you don't draw a text box. Nice, right? It's kind of tricky, but neat at the same time. Once you know now the differences, you're not going to explore. Exactly. Good? Yep. Okay. Very good. Excellent. Working with it. Okay, so now, like, honestly, this is super easy once you get going with it. Then I'm gonna go over here, right? My Space Journey folder. So first I'm gonna put my planets. So watch this. I have this open like that, floating windows. I'm gonna drag this image over here. Oh no, it won't accept AVIF or WebP files. It won't accept them. But guess what I have to do? Trick it. I'll just do this. Okay. Command Shift 4, I'll screen capture it, and I'll reuse the image if I want. Okay, done. Now it's a PNG. So, or you can just hack the file and rename the extension. This is another one here. I'll do the same thing. Command Shift 4, screen capture it, close it. This one will work, right? The shuttle. So this, I'm going to have it over here, drag and drop, right? That's the shuttle image. These other ones I just screen captured. I'm going to bring this one here and bring this one over here and rename this galaxies. You can use different images if you want, right? This one here, planets. The planets will go to the left. So I have the planets. I have actually, I like to have the planets on the right. I can always change my mind and do this and drag this over here. You can always replace things back and forth as you move along. And last but not least, the galaxies will go over here, but the orientation is wrong. So I'm going to double click and simply oh, I got to rotate it. You know what? Sometimes it's better. I mean, I could rotate the box if I like, but that'll mess up the whole thing. So I'd rather do this. I'd rather open this up separately, go on review. You can use Photoshop if you like as well. Tools, rotate left or rotate right, doesn't really matter. Actually, I'm going to go to flip. Right, there we go, right? And once I do that, I'm just going to hit Command S, save over it. When I drag it in here, it's going to fit nicely inside. Okay, so I have these different images in there. And if you want to edit the images in the content, you double click, and then you can actually go ahead and resize it like that if you need to. I'm going to press undo. But usually they fit perfectly within the ratio of the image and the size. So it's good to kind of gauge that as you're looking for images. Photoshop is a good extra step if needed to be to get this more elaborate. Now, all these images need a border of some kind. They kind of get lost a bit. So I'm going to go click on the border here and just, maybe use the existing border size, like the actual border here, and increase the thickness of the border. Sort of 1, I'm going to go 2, 3, maybe 2, I'll leave it on. All right, so as you can see here, this wireframe that we made became a full rendered interactive interface version of what we're trying to do here. Right. I'm going to go File, Save. I should also rename the top left corner instead of iPad 1. Let's call this the home or the main page. We'll call it main. Main as the main screen. Okay. So the way this interactive thing will work is we're going to have this go to screen number 1. This will go to screen number 2. This will go to screen number 3, and then have a home button to go back to the home page. And the fun facts can be an additional page as well. That one, I might have to open it in Photoshop really quickly and just cut out the background and put it in the corner somewhere. And of course, you would make this button yourself and have it somewhere situated. So while I do that, I'm just going to simply save this and open it up. So here it is right here. I'm going to use the right, Command J. I don't like those checkered backgrounds. And hit Command S. TNG. Save. You don't have to do this, by the way, but it's actually thing. Now, I don't want you to think always you can just drag and drop as placeholders. You can literally drag and drop anything. You can drag and drop this by itself, and it'll put itself in an actual, item. Okay. You can then put it anywhere else that you wish on your design. So I didn't really draw a button for that. I just placed it under a separate element. Okay. Okay. Here I'm going to put some copyright stuff. Honestly, I'm just copying the styles just to show you. Okay. There we go. Now it looks like a realistic kind of thing. Just a little copyright and everything. So all these buttons will be interactive. Okay, ready to go. So next is we're going to create the sections. Once we focus all our attention and our attention to detail on the home screen, now we're going to expand that detail on the other pages, because this will be like an interactive thing. I mean, you can see this even on a lot of different interactive screens out there. So for one is you can duplicate the existing page. I always suggest you do that, because the last thing you want to do is this. I mean, you could make another, watch this. Here's the artboard. You can literally go ahead and make another artboard, draw one, and then go over here and make it 1024 by 768. Okay, so make it the same size. I prefer to copy it, right? It's a little easier. So literally, if you do this instead, click on the top corner. Remember, top left corner, Option or Alt on a PC and drag. Okay. You know what else works? You click on the top. Remember, you have to click on the top left corner. Command D or Control D for duplicate. It duplicates the artboard as well. So that works also. I like to situate it down here so it looks like a separate screen branching off the main page. So it's going to look like this. Right? And the screens should be consistent, so it has a nice overall feel to it. I'm going to make it literally go that way. Okay. So this will be the planetary theme, or actually the spacecraft. Oh, sure. So basically, if you click on the top left corner, if you hold Option or Alt, you can drag it like that. Or watch this, Carla. You press Command D to duplicate it, or Control D on a PC. Okay. It's easier to work with a template approach, because then I can rename this and call it, you know, spacecraft. spacecraft. So I'm gonna again move it over here to center it. If you're not sure where the center is, look at this. You got the top right corner. You can do left, center, right. So I'm gonna keep it centered. This will be renamed. I'll call it various spacecraft Terrans. Terrans is another form for Earthlings. Terrans use for traveling to space for the past few decades. Okay. A fun fact doesn't have to be here anymore. Okay. And obviously, I'm going to replace these images here and delete them with something else. Okay. We're gonna have a spacecraft theme happen here. And if I want to do an animation, which I want you to incorporate, I'm gonna first design the skeleton, and then I'm gonna make the animation in the next one. Okay. So now I'm gonna get a picture of a nice maybe space shuttle. I'm not gonna use all this. Like I can really do this, spend 10 hours doing this, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna show you enough to show you how you can do it on your own, all the other stuff. Okay. So this is the is this I'll make sure it's transparent. Save image as one of the famous space shuttles that was used to do a lot of those shuttle missions. Look at this, perfect. This is called the Atlantis. You know, this is very special. I'm getting goosebumps looking at this. I saw this thing live. If you go to the Kennedy Space Center, they have this on the main level. They actually have the spaceship in the. They have this one here. The other ones, some of them have crashed. They didn't survive. This one burnt up a bit. You can literally see the tiles. It's humongous. This thing's huge. It's like the size of I don't know, like one of those buildings. Like it's long. You can walk around there and stuff. It's really cool. It's something to if you haven't done it yet. If you ever go to Florida, it's something you should definitely check out. The Kennedy Space Center. I've been there like twice, so it's kind of cool. So, anyways, let's bring this in here. So we're gonna drag this spacecraft right inside here. We're gonna make it smaller. And yes, we're gonna make this fly. Of course, we're gonna make it fly. Okay, we can write information about the Atlantis space shuttle because there's an actual history of the Atlantis space shuttle. I'll show you Atlantis. Look, there it is. See? Well, that's like a zoomed out picture, but this is what I was telling you about. There's the space shuttle. Okay. It's a lot bigger than that. I don't know why. Maybe it's the camera doesn't do it justice there, how it looks. Okay. So maybe we can do Cape Canaveral, Florida. I can copy this little excerpt here, okay, from the website. I can go and basically paste it right here. Okay. Make it a tad smaller. Okay. And this is Atlantis. Space Shuttle Atlantis. I'll make this a little smaller. I mean, I could make these headings more smaller, bigger based on the actual you know, sizing difference. But you see how I basically modified this to make it look like that. Now, wouldn't it have been nice if you go there and the space shuttle comes in, like it flies in? It's a little more exciting than just a picture to show up, right? So let's have an animation of the shuttle coming in, as opposed to just the shuttle appearing there out of the blue, right? So in order to do that, I'm going to create an interaction with this slide by doing this. So I'm going to call this, spay, little typo here. So I'm going to double click this here and call it shuttle. This is the shuttle page. Ready? Command D, okay? And I'm going to move this underneath here so it's in line with that particular slide. We'll call it shuttle 1 or shuttle 1, shuttle 2 if you want, right? Whatever is easier for you to remember. This is shuttle 2. Shuttle 1 and shuttle 2. That's the names I chose for these two artboards. And what I'm going to do is basically move this. So here's the trick. You design it as you see it. The last thing you do is the animation. Don't think about the animation. Think about it, but don't execute it. Because if you do it and later on you move stuff and change stuff, it'll break because, especially if you change the picture to another picture, the program won't know the animation will. You can't just change one image to the next image. It won't know the in and out points, basically. So you have to kind of design it as you see it and then do one of these. Watch. And just kind of go say, you know what, I want it to go from here to there, basically. It's a lot easier that way for the program to digest information than for you to, do it beforehand. You follow me? Right? So you do it from here to there. And what will go here is this thumbnail. So we're going to click on this, and that'll go and play the Space Shuttle Atlantis entrance, a grand entrance, with the explanation of this particular shuttle exploration, what it does. So it's like an educational interaction thing that we're doing. All right. So how do we connect these things? Basically, well, let's do it all at once, and then you can repeat, because the other things it's the same thing, but with different images. You follow me? Okay? Whatever you want to do creatively. You can have the galaxy spin. You can have the planets do the same thing, whatever, right? But this is good to kind of get the point across here. So we're going to go ahead and link it. Are we okay so far? So now it's time to save. Now it's time to go to prototype. So you can always go prototype and back to design, back to prototype, back to design, back to prototype. So I'm going to go to prototype now. Prototype, top left corner here. And I'm going to link this thumbnail. Notice how I click on the thumbnail. And I'm going to drag this little blue arrow and connect it to shuttle number 1. It's going to go to this one. See? It's going to go to this slide. So when you go to this slide, think logically now. I want this to do an animation. So in that case, I'm going to click on the shuttle 1. Okay? Click on the shuttle 1. Go over here. Ready? This is when people get a little confused. Do not click on the background image. If you have a background image, do not click on the back. Do not click on that. Click on the top little corner to select the artboard. Only then, because last week, 3 of you or 4 of you were trying to connect the thing, and it's like, how come time's not showing up? Because you were selecting the shuttle or the background, and that's why you're not getting the time to show up. So rather than that, remember, click on the whole scene, right? The artboard, and then connect the artboard to the next artboard, right? Only then you will control the trigger to be based on time, not tap. Time only works with artboards. Time doesn't work with tap when you click on a button. That's an interaction of a user interaction. A time happens on its own when you have one scene playing to the next scene. So the time will be how much delay? It'll be 0 delay. It'll be a transition. It'll be an animation, which is called auto animate. Same with last week. How long? 0.3 seconds. That's a little too fast. I want it to last at least, I don't know, 1.5 seconds. Okay. So 1.5 space S for seconds. 1.5 seconds. If it's too long or too short, you can always extend that duration back and forth. So this is going to be time. Oh, and then how do we go back? We should have like a button to go back to the home page, right? So for that, we can go, you know what? Why don't we grab a picture of the kit that I gave you, the UI kit, which is right over here, the wireframe kit. Let's borrow an icon from there and copy and paste it and use it as a home page button, which we'll do that in a few seconds. I'm going to very quickly go over here. There's my beautiful icons. And sure enough, there is there's a homepage icon. All right, anyways, I can make one, doesn't matter. I'll use this one here for now. Or this one. Let's use the globe. Any here? All right. Well, there's also one over here. You don't have to do this. You can just make your own home button, really. It does not necessary. So maybe we'll just do that instead. It's a lot faster. So back to design. This little globe thing will be the home button, okay? This little globe thing. We can put a little picture of a home, house, button, whatever. So this will be the home button to go back to the home page. Back to earth, get it? Maybe back home kind of thing. So we'll use that button as our trigger. So I'm going to copy that. Watch this. Copy that. Go to this artboard. Paste. When you copy and paste something, it always puts it in the same location. Okay. All right. Now we're ready to link this. Okay. So basically it'll be from this one back to prototype. I'm going to connect this little earth icon to go back to the home page. So when you click on that, it goes back to the home page. Don't you wish building websites was this easy? Can you imagine? It's like using Wix.com or something like that. It's called a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. It's like a drag and drop process. This is even easier because you're just doing so many. It's like you're focusing on design and not so much about coding or programming. And yes, guess what? There's no programming in this class. It's all this kind of stuff. It makes it super fun and easy. And not to take away from coding, it's really important. You should definitely learn as much as you can for that. Because even if you use WYSIWYGs, like Wix and WordPress and stuff, they have a lot of tools like Elementor. I use Divi tags. They're nice, but you still have to put a little code to customize, you know? So it's good to know the code to customize your headers, your links, your styles, all that stuff. Very important. Okay, but this is easy. This goes there. Look, even this one, even this icon can go back here. So it doesn't matter if you go here or there, but honestly, you won't get a chance to click on this because it'll be so fast. So let's just leave alone. Just this one goes back to the homepage, right? Because it's gonna be, this will play here, and this button will act as the homepage. So just to save you some headache. And as a matter of fact, you know what? This won't even exist. I'll purposely delete it. This will show up only on the end. So now let's recap what we did. So we designed the homepage. We connected the first thumbnail to the shuttle section. How do we travel to space? Using space shuttles. In the history of mankind, this was one of the most important ones, notable ones, called Space Shuttle Atlantis. We wrote a little brief on it. We did an animation of it to go here, and we have a button to go back to the next section. Okay, let's do a quick save. Go back to design, hit the play button, and oh, we should click on the main screen and then press play. There it is, right? And then from this, let's go on an adventure together and travel through space to explore the universe. Okay, so if I click here, nothing happens. But if I click on this one, look what's going to happen. It's going to play the Atlantis page. And then we read a bit about Atlantis, Space Shuttle Atlantis, Cape Canaveral, Florida, Space Shuttle Atlantis, the final orbit among NASA's winged fleet to fly in space. 100 million tourist attraction in Florida. Astronauts from each Atlantis 33 flights join. Officials, NASA Kennedy Space Center visitor complex for monitoring ceremony, making the opening of Space Shuttle Atlantis. So now when we're done reading this, we click on the little globe icon, or we put a home button to go back to this. And it's a nice little transition by default, which I like. I'll leave it alone. But back and forth, you can go to any one of these and have a nice little presentation work as a kind of like exploring a space, or like an interactive game. I think I was a little too ambitious to put the word game. Remember, like we did last week? You want to do something like that, go ahead. This is more like an interactive presentation, not like a game, right? It's not a game. You're not gonna catch the shuttle, right? So maybe I'll change the wording just so I don't get people confused, because I think he started doing the PC stuff with W and stuff. So I don't want people to maybe get over their heads, okay? Because then if you try to do too hard or too much, you might get frustrated because it has limitations. This is not a game design software, okay? It's just an interactive thing. So this is pretty easy. You guys do this part? Yeah, okay, let me just quickly come around and check it out. And then I'll do the other two sections and we're good. Okay. And then it will say, okay, no problem. The thing is, I think you made it on a tap trigger as opposed to a time trigger, which we can fix. Let's close it.
I don't know if I here. It's not here. Other different.
Okay, so let's close it perfectly. First things first, this works, right?
Yeah.
Then click on this top corner. So tap, change it to time. That means it happened on so that wasn't different, right? How long? 1.5 seconds, perfect, okay? Then we go back over here, click on this artboard. So that one is. Yeah. Click on it again. So that's tap. Change that to transition. So one end, okay? That's what I'm. And I think that might be able to do the trick. Okay, now if we click on that one again and press play, go back, it should be right. It's working okay? Very nice. Also, basically, that one. It's just this because the first is not the article. We're gonna do first. We're gonna do the little piece. Now, so that's gonna be the clip divided to over here. So drag that over here. Good. Then from here, it's gonna play this. Click on the. Click on the little. Can you zoom in a bit? So top left corner. And drag that to us. Okay. But that'll be time. Instead of tap, it'll be time. Make it 1.5 seconds. Sorry, I can't see from here. I gotta get the glasses. Now, 1.5. 1. Perfect, 1 second. Good. So now we need a button. click, it to go back here.
Yeah, I was.
Use any special twenty pounds. Put a circle. Back to the side. Circle. Well, very different places. The circle doesn't have to be here, so it doesn't have to be here. It's gonna be very fast, it's gonna play here to there. But this circle here, for the prototype, gonna connect it to go back to the home page. Like that, and that'll be a tap trigger, okay? But, perfect, sorry, so, now one last thing I noticed, scroll up. This. So on top. Make that, okay, so now let's press play. Also forgot to go auto animate. Sorry, let's click on that. Very good. One more thing we missed. So from here, this artwork, right? I click on this little connector here, right? The transition should be auto animate. That's why I wasn't animating. Okay. So now let's zoom out again. Click on the main artwork, press play. There you go. And that can also change also this button here. Big slide left out. Let's do this off or no. This always. That'll be better.
Oh, wait, have you seen the ads for the new Ravens that are connected to Meta?
The Ray-Bans,
Yeah.
like the glasses?
Yeah.
No.
I just got an app that's pretty,
Oh, where'd you see it at, Tom?
it's just like, you just give commands and like it translates stuff and like it gives you information.
The glasses?
Yeah.
They're smart glasses?
Yeah, there's one.
It came out today or was it?
I just got that today. I don't know what
Well,
they get.
I'll check it out, actually. Pretty cool. How does everybody do, okay? Oh, excellent, okay, so we're good then. And look, I mean, this is the bare basics, right? And it's all about details and how much information you put in there. You can make this really fun and interactive. And at the end of the day, let me just do. Very quickly, I'll do the other two, okay? I'm gonna grab these two artboards, okay? I'm just gonna option drag them over here. Well, I can't do, no. You can't do multiple drags, right? You gotta do one at a time. So let's grab this one, for example, option drag. So it's gonna be over here, right? This one's gonna be the galaxies. So I'm gonna put here galaxies in space or whatever you wanna write. Obviously, this becomes something else. You put a blurb about the galaxies. Different galaxies. And you guys can use the internet to grab all your information. So I can just kind of copy this little blurb here, paste it over here. I don't expect you to come up with your own creative content for this. So you should maybe copy and paste types of galaxies. We'll paste there. And of course, this will be all centered, right? And I got to get a picture of some kind of galaxies now, like a spiral galaxy. And I'll do a nice little rotation type of effect. This will be kind of cool. I'll teach you a nice little trick you can do in Photoshop. Let me copy this image. Watch this, how this will play out nice. That's why I like XD and Photoshop. They work really nice together. I'm just going to make a new document in Photoshop quickly. 72 RGB color mode. Command V, I pasted that, right? Delete the background. Now watch this. I'm gonna feather the edges, okay? For that, I'm going to do, remember the elliptical marquee? The circle, right? The galaxy's aspiring circle, so I'll use a similar kind of symmetrical selection. So I'm gonna, before I make a selection though, watch this. Based on the resolution, my feather estimation will be 200 pixels, maybe 250. 250 pixels, okay? You know what 250 pixels means? That means if I go like this the the feather will be 250 pixels. Like it's soft. So if I do Command J or copy and paste, maybe it's too soft. Too soft. I'll do it again. Elliptical selection tool, 100 pixels. 100 pixels. Let's try that. Command J. This will work better, okay? A little better. Notice how it's feathering out nicely. So if I bring it into XD, it's gonna like spiral and look nice and smooth, right? So I'm gonna save this as a PNG. As a matter of fact, you can even save it as a Photoshop file. XD can read Photoshop files. So watch this. I'll save this as a Photoshop file right now on my computer. I'll call this Spiral Galaxy. Well, I save this as a PNG. Okay, either way, PNG, Photoshop, it'll all work. So if I go here now, right, what I'm gonna do is literally bring in the Spiral Galaxy. There it is. Drag and drop. It's very nice and smooth, just like that. It'll play nicely in my presentation. I can even send it to the back. Notice how it's at the front, right? So I'm gonna right click, send to back, just like Illustrator, right? You send it to the back, so it becomes at the very back of the entire um, order of the graphic elements. Now, you know what also I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate, I'm gonna call this one Galaxy 1, right? So watch this. Command or Control D becomes Galaxy 2. This will be down here. And yes, I'm going to do the same thing with the shuttle. I'm going to move the Galaxy to the right and keep this to the left. But not only that, I'm going to have it spin and come at the same time. So it's like a spiraling galaxy. Makes sense. In order for me to do that, I'm going to rotate this. Look at this now. Here's the rotation. 0-degree angle of rotation. I'm going to do 0 here. By the time it gets to this one, it'll be 360 degrees. 360. Let's hope it'll recognize that. Sometimes it doesn't do anything because 0 and 360 look alike. So maybe I'll do 180. I'll see what it looks like. Let's just see. For me to see, I'm gonna have to do the animation, okay? So let's quickly go link this thumbnail back to prototype. It's gonna go over here. And this artboard will go to this artboard. It'll be time, auto animate, Galaxy 2, 1.5 seconds, okay? So let's check it out. Oh yeah, and the home button. Literally, if you copy here and paste the home button, it'll just do the same thing. So see how quickly it is for me to replicate scenes? I just need the thought and the idea to make it happen. I have to just use my skills to go to Photoshop or whatever program I need to execute my graphical formats and just dump them in here. So if I press play now, make this like my home page, right? So this one works well. Very good. Okay. I'm going to go to the second one. Look at that. Let's try it again. I'll take out the delay, and it's spinning the wrong way. So I'll put minus 360, or I can do 360 to 0, whatever I want to do, right? And I'm going to go back to that one. So I'm going to change this to go back to design. Oh, sorry, prototype. Oh, ease out, ease in. I'll just do ease in and out. Okay. 1.5 seconds, no delay. The galaxy, as far as I'm concerned, will be maybe this will be 0 degrees. By the time it gets here, it'll be minus 360, means counterclockwise. 360 means clockwise. It's the opposite, I know. But let's see if this works a little better to our advantage. So I'm going to go ahead and press play here. A little bit of a delay. I think it's just the way how it's executing the graphical load, but technically it should work. It's a little bit of a delay. Okay, it goes like that. All right. You see, how is it delaying so much though? Maybe because of the ease in and ease out in the duration. So maybe I'll do easing none. Okay, it's going to play delay 0 seconds. Let's see if this makes a difference. I'm just curious. Yeah, see, like I didn't put any ease in, ease out, so it goes right straight through. Right, so it goes like this. There we go. It needs time to load, I think, too. All right. I'll do these in this. Okay. All right. So we did movement. Now we did rotation and movement. We decided to do different angular, type of degrees there. We did minus 360 from here, 0, and then we did minus 360 here. So did that. The last one will be the planets. We'll do something different there. You can do multiple objects, not just one. So the next one, I'm going to do more advanced approach of how to do multiple moving things, not just one thing. I'll do multiple planets moving all into one system. Okay, so let's do that one. So I'm just going to copy this, Option drag, okay, or just do Command D. And this one will be called planets, planets -1. Will be planets in our solar system. Okay. And I'm gonna go I'll just grab a few. I'm not gonna grab 7 because I'm looking at the clock here. We're kind of running a little out of time here. So I'm just gonna go get let me get like Jupiter PNG. Okay. So we'll get a nice Jupiter PNG file here. Oh, it's not a there we go. That's I can tell because when I drag it, there's no checkers. So I'm gonna right click, save image as, and this will be the Jupiter planet. Then I'll do Saturn, Neptune PNG. Oh, this is also a nice one. It's transparent, save image as, Neptune PNG. So you can do as many as you like, okay? I'm just gonna do 2, but you can do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, as many as you like, right? There's no more 9 planets, there's 8 apparently. Pluto is considered a dwarf planet, just in case you're wondering about the solar system stuff. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and make this, planets in a solar system. So we're gonna go ahead and make this planets solar system. Just a quick little blurb. Okay, I'm going to copy this and paste it basically in our XD file here. Paste. And I'm going to go back to the about the planets. Paste. Okay. You don't have to do all these things with me, but I just want you to do at least one or two so you get the feel of it. And then later you can implement your own stuff. So about the planets, what happens now is we're going to put more interactive stuff with these multiple objects moving at the same time. So I'm going to grab this one here, drag and drop, okay? And look at this, drag and drop this one too. The main thing is this, do not change their names halfway through, okay? So it has to be basically one or the other. Okay, so about the planets, yes, they're going to collide. No, they're not going to collide. They're going to overlap each other, okay? So we're going to go ahead and do this. Oh, be careful when you're doing this kind of drag and dropping stuff. Okay, so you can drag and drop here, but if you drag and drop over here, look, it's part of this now. Get it? So be careful where you're dragging and dropping it to. It's got to belong here or there. You see what I mean? So make sure, basically, if you want it on this one, you select this artboard and you move it in this artboard. Right? Another sure way to do it is if you click on the artboard here and look at this. This is your assets, remember? Go to layers and you can basically drag anything to anywhere by copying and pasting. I can do copy, go to this artboard and hit paste. You see what I mean? So copy and paste might be your best friend if you want to copy something in the same location. Oh, it does paste in place by default. Isn't that nice? You don't have to do paste in place. It automatically assumes that's what you want to do. Okay, so let's now go ahead and do something about the planets here. This will navigate to this. It'll be tap, transition. Okay, this will be also a transition. Okay, and then when it comes to this one, we're going to do what's called a Command D. And we're going to go to design. We're going to move these over like this. And yes, they'll rotate a bit. So maybe this will be rotated slightly this way, and this will be rotated slightly that way. And this one's going to rotate slightly this way and that way, right? I did two objects, rotating and moving, overlapping each other in a very kind of systematic way, right? So you can do all kinds of interactions with very simple animations to make this presentation look more rich, okay? In graphics and interaction. Okay, so now this will be again in a time um let me just make this one too. A, a time trigger event. Okay, so I'm going to click on the artboard. Watch carefully, go to prototype, and always grab the edge of the artboard, connect it to the one you wanted to animate towards, which is this one here. Make sure this is set to time. That's the only way it'll show up is if you click on the artboard, not an object or an image. So time, this will be called auto animate, not transition. It's going to animate. That's why I'm going to put auto animate. It's going to be 1.5 seconds. Keep it consistent like the other themes. And lastly, I'm going to copy this little Earth little icon that'll always go back to the home page, go to my Planet 2 thing here and hit Command V. So that's If it's already connected, it'll stay connected, as you can see. They're all gonna go to the same location. So in a nutshell, I did the whole thing right now, like I promised, in under an hour. The only thing I didn't do is the fun facts. That can go to another page and do something else. I'll leave that up to you, okay? But as far as this is concerned, it's all done and ready to go as a project now. So let's hit save, press the play button, and off we go. This is the shuttle, Atlantis. We go back. We go to the galaxies, types of galaxies. So we go back again. And lastly, we do our planets. They connect like that. And we go back again. See, I miss these days. We used to do this in Flash. Like this was like my normal thing we used to do in terms of interaction design with interface design. So I'm glad we're kind of back to this thing that you can do as a graphic designer in XD or Figma. You can create very compelling presentations. And it's so easy to kind of, wield these techniques with, limited skill, but I know your skill is better than that. As you're going to learn more and more, you become that much more capable to do this kind of stuff. It's really neat how well this plays out. And you know what's really nice about this? Like once you do it here, look how cool it is to put on a website. I can put this right now on social media and people can click on it and go to a website with it. I just have to have a domain name and a host and put it up. But just to show you, I'm going to click on the share button. Okay. I'm going to go to, whatever, create the link. Okay. And another class, I'll show you how to do the HTML thing. It's very simple. And if I click on this link here, I can open it up in the browser and everyone can play this right now at home. You can show this to the whole world right now. It'll look just like that. Give it time to load though. It's gotta load up to the cloud. Oh, I have to save it. I forgot to save it. Command S, and then this will be here. Command R. There it is, right? Go back again. This is live right now on the actual cloud. And it works exactly. And you can share this with your clients, with your colleagues, with your friends, and you get the whole interaction on an actual browser from XD. That's how easy it is. You can, like I said, you can make a website. Just make it look like a real website, and people will think it's a website, but it's not. It's a prototype of a website. But I mean, for what it does, it'll serve, just as good in terms of showing them what it'll function like a website. Okay, so I hope this was enough information, not only to see how it's done right from scratch. I even went as far as collecting images from websites and Google and doing this from nothing, basically. The main takeaway is showing you also how to create these, different assets like colors and fonts, drag and dropping images, uh, creating prototyping methods with basic buttons interactions, creating rich and experience presentation. Very simple. You can show this to like a 5-year-old. They'll have no problem figuring this out. I guarantee you. You can show this to a 70 or an 80-year-old. I think they'll have no problem either. So it's very user friendly in that sense. And I want you to keep that in mind when you make this, right? So, keep it simple, yet very rich in graphics and orientation. And I'm sure if I had another week to do this, I can make it way better. What do you think? Right? So I know you guys, I'm not saying you spend the whole week doing this, but I mean, I'll leave it up to you to decide. Okay, so any questions so far? Because we're going to wrap it up now. Go ahead. Yes. I don't think I fixed it. It was just a glitch because the file was too big. I should go to Photoshop, make it smaller, save it, bring it in again. You don't bring images this big into XD and shrink them this small because the memory is still kind of playing the 30 megabyte file. Whereas if you make it 3 megabyte, it's a lot easier to digest. You follow me? So maybe that's a good trick for that. Because I looked at, there was no delay. Why is he delaying? It was just a glitch. Okay, yeah. Any other questions? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and save it again. And maybe upload this on Blackboard so you can have access to it. Okay, as you can see, it's a shareable item. So maybe I will do an app upload right now. In that case, I have to basically go and save a local copy, as you know. And you will see this in today's class. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And good luck on your, have fun on your reading week. And maybe you can also have a good idea for this assignment and even get it done before I see you back again here in week number 8. Bye for now, and be safe and have fun on your break.